All right, you guys, let's talk about cropping your photos in Adobe Lightroom. Cropping your photos is so important. I'm giving it its own video here, and we're going to just jump right into it. Over here on the right-hand side of the screen is our crop tool. It's right below the edit tool. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and you can see when I do that, everything changes a little bit. That's okay. Let's just start at the top like we always do, and it says here aspect ratio original. Aspect ratio is the ratio of the length and the width. So right now, it's locked to the original, meaning if I try to make it smaller, it's going to make it smaller on all sides. It's not going to let me just adjust it however I want. This is handy if you want to keep the same aspect ratio that you kept when you took the photo. So if I really like this aspect ratio and I don't want the overall shape of the photo to change, I'm going to just leave this on original. And then I can come in here and either grab the top right there or the sides or a corner, and I can just click and drag and make it smaller. Then I can click inside and move the photo around to get it to where I want it to be cropped. So that's one way to crop. I'm going to go ahead and press escape to get out of that and go back into the crop tool. If you want to be able to just crop willy-nilly and do whatever you want, you're going to hit this lock button right there, and that's going to allow you to unlock that. And now you can see when I click and drag from the top, it doesn't adjust the other sides. It lets me crop it kind of however I want. If I wanted to crop it in that shape right there, I guess I could. Let's not do that. So I'll hit escape to undo that, go back into the crop tool, and I'm going to leave that unlocked. But I did want to show you, actually, I'm going to relock it, and I wanted to show you there are lots of ratios that you can use. There's everything from 1:1 to 10:16. Old Instagram used to only allow square photos, so we would always come in and choose a 1:1 ratio before we would publish anything to Instagram, but that's not a thing anymore. However, they don't do well with super wide angle photos like this. So you can see I chose 9:16 there. And that orientation doesn't work for this photo. I want that to be flipped. So that's what this button right here does. If I click on that guy, you can see that flips that. And now it's more up and down rather than side to side. And I can come in and adjust this up and out like that. And again, Instagram, just FYI, it doesn't love super wide or super narrow and tall photos or super short and wide photos. It doesn't do really well with them. If you are going to output to Instagram, how did this get to be an Instagram video? You want to do maybe 2:3 or 3:4 or 1:1 at the most. So for the most part, you guys, I usually just keep this on custom and then unlock it. And then that allows me to just do whatever I want with my cropping and kind of get a good feel for what I want to do. So that's what I do. You can also put your cursor outside of the crop box, and you can see it turns into that little double bendy arrow thing. This allows me to rotate my photo a little bit. So I noticed in these photos that, in this photo, you can see that these trees up here aren't quite straight, and trees are usually straight. So that to me tells me my camera was a little crooked when I took this photo. So I'm going to move my cursor outside of the crop box until I see the bendy arrows. I'm going to start rotating this, and you can see it's automatically cropping in for me as I rotate. That's cool. Until those trees are more or less straight. And I'm using all those little lines it's putting on the screen to help me do that. And once I see it where I like it, I might try to move it up or down a little bit so I don't lose too much. And then I'm just going to press Enter or Return on my keyboard. And that looks pretty good. See how those trees are straight now? That feels a little bit better. I like that. Let's go back into crop. I could have done the same thing with this dude right here. This also allows me to straighten things like that or tilt the photo until it's straight. So get that back where I want it. And you also have these buttons down here. These are your rotate buttons. If you wanted to rotate your photo, that's how you would do that with these ones right there. And these ones allow you to flip your photo. Watch what happens when I hit this right here. That flips it so everything is backwards now, or you could even flip it upside down. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Don't do that. Okay, so I'm going to just come in here and do some cropping and make everything look exactly how I want it. And again, press Enter or Return. And you see that drops me right back into the editing tab so I can go back to editing. The cool thing is, you guys, whenever you crop, it's not permanent. If I decide, you know what, that's a little too tight, I want a little more space there, I can always come and click on the crop tool again. And you can see it's all right there. And I can come in and be like, you know what, I tilted that a little too much. Let me straighten it back out. And I want to bring that down a little bit and bring this in. And let's flip it sideways like that. And then press Enter and be, oh, yes, I like that much better. I don't actually. So I'm going to undo that with Command Z. Just a quick little heads up, the keyboard shortcut for the crop tool here in Lightroom is C, as in C as in crop. And no matter where you are here in Lightroom, you can always just press C on your keyboard, and that brings you into the crop feature. So there you go.